What if the change you've been waiting for, the breakthrough, the shift, the spark could begin tonight? Not next week, not next year, not when things settle down, but tonight? What if everything you've been chasing, clarity, discipline, confidence, progress, isn't on the other side of some massive life overhaul, but waiting behind just one decision? Most people spend their entire lives searching for a turning point. They think it'll come from luck, from someone noticing their potential, from finally getting a chance. But here's the truth: the turning point doesn't come to you, you create it. And sometimes, all it takes is one habit. Just one small, powerful shift in your behavior that silently declares, "I'm done living the same day over and over again." Pause for a moment and really think, how long have you been stuck in the same loop? You wake up, scroll, stress, repeat. You set goals, get hyped, then fall off, and deep down it eats at you. Not because you're lazy, not because you don't care, but because something inside of you knows you're meant for more. The reason you feel that discomfort, that quiet frustration, it's not failure, it's potential screaming to be used. That tension in your chest when you say, "I'll start tomorrow," that's your spirit telling you you're lying to yourself again. You see, most people are not tired of working hard. They're tired of working hard without direction, without traction, without meaning. They're tired of running in circles and calling it progress. And that's where everything starts to shift. Because tonight, you're not going to try to change your whole life. You're going to change one thing, one habit, one action, one standard. And when you do, when you commit to it, the game changes. Because you're no longer just hoping life will feel better, you're doing something about it. This habit isn't about checking a box. It's not about perfection or a pretty routine. It's about proof that you're still in control. That even if the world is chaotic, your mind isn't. That even if you've been knocked down 100 times, you still have a move left. The habit you choose tonight is a signal. It tells your brain, your body, and your future, "I'm not sleepwalking through life anymore." It could be something simple: a 5-minute journal, a cold shower, writing your goals down, or setting your alarm an hour earlier. The size doesn't matter, the meaning does. Because when you do something with intention over and over, it rewires the way you see yourself. You start to see someone who follows through, someone who doesn't break promises to themselves, someone who doesn't wait for motivation but builds it, one action at a time. You won't feel like doing it every night, that's not the point. The point is to do it anyway. To prove to yourself again and again that you are the kind of person who does what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable. That's where confidence is born, not in the results, but in the consistency. Not in waiting for the perfect moment, but in doing the hard thing when no one's watching. And here's the reward: if you stay with this to the end, by the time this video finishes, you won't just know what to do. You'll understand why you must do it. You'll walk away with the truth that real transformation doesn't start in the new year, on Monday, or when the timing's right. It starts the moment you say, "Enough is enough," and back it up with action. So don't just listen to these words. Feel them, let them challenge you, let them wake you up. Because tonight might just be the moment everything changes. Not because life finally gave you permission, but because you finally decided to take back control. You don't need 100 changes to rebuild your life. You need one bold commitment, because once you start doing something consistently, even if it's small, it changes how you see yourself. That's where real transformation begins, not when the world sees your results, but when you start believing in your ability to follow through. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, something powerful happens. You build self-respect, and self-respect is the root of confidence. It's not about being loud or fearless. It's about knowing that when you say you'll do something, you will. That silent agreement between your words and your actions becomes the foundation of everything else. That's why this habit you choose tonight matters more than you realize. It's not about the habit itself. It's about who you become in the process. Waking up early isn't just about beating the sun. It's about proving you control your day, not the other way around. Journaling at night isn't about words on a page, it's about creating space to reflect, reset, and grow. Working out isn't just about your body. It's about developing discipline when quitting would be easier. The key isn't doing what's easy. The key is doing what aligns with the person you want to be, because identity is built by repetition. You don't wake up one day and suddenly become the best version of yourself. You step into it, habit by habit, decision by decision. It's not a leap, it's a climb. But once you begin, momentum starts to build. And that's where most people miss the opportunity. They wait to feel motivated, but motivation is a result, not a requirement. You don't need to feel ready. You need to feel tired of being stuck. That's what pushes change. You already have everything it takes to do this. You don't need permission, you don't need the perfect routine, and you definitely don't need more information. You just need to do and keep doing, because doing creates belief. Belief creates action. And action creates results. But here's the truth most people don't want to face. If you don't change something, nothing will change. You'll stay in the same loop, same thoughts, same habits, same doubts. And one day you'll look back and realize you weren't stuck. You were just unwilling to disrupt your comfort. Comfort is not your friend. It's the slow poison that keeps potential asleep. And if you stay there too long, you'll start making peace with a version of yourself that was never meant to be the final chapter. You were not born to just survive the day. You were born to take ownership of your time, your habits, your outcomes. This is about choosing growth even when it's inconvenient. It's about being brave enough to say, I'm no longer available for the version of me that settles. That's what this one habit does. It draws a line in the sand. It says, I no longer accept anything less than my best. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out, but you do need to begin. Begin with the smallest shift that speaks to your soul. And then protect that habit like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Not your physical life, but your fulfilled life, your meaningful life, your future legacy. This is your reminder that the greatest transformations don't start with grand gestures. They start with unseen decisions made in quiet moments. The world may not notice tonight, but your future will. And that's what matters most. You are not powerless. You are not broken. You are one consistent habit away from becoming unstoppable. So tonight, choose the habit, not because it's easy, not because it's trendy, but because it's time. Time to stop waiting. Time to stop hoping. Time to start moving forward with relentless clarity. Let your actions tonight be the proof that you're no longer negotiating with average. You've decided, you've committed, and now you rise. Every time you act on that decision, even when it's hard, you chip away at the old version of you. The one that made excuses, the one that postponed greatness, the one that got comfortable with mediocrity. And with every small win, a new version starts to emerge, stronger, sharper, more disciplined, more alive. That's the real reward, not the applause, not the end result. It's who you become in the process. It's waking up and realizing you're not controlled by moods anymore. You're not reacting to life. You're building it, with your hands, with your choices, with your habits. It's not magic. It's not fate. It's not luck. It's consistency. The people you admire, the ones who look unshakable and confident, they don't have something you don't. They just made a different choice. They chose to keep showing up. To do the reps, to trust the process long before the payoff. You'll have days when it feels pointless, when your mind whispers, what's the point? It's just one day. But one day becomes 2, 2 becomes 10. And soon that small act becomes part of your identity. You won't even need to think about it. It will be who you are. That's how champions are built, quietly, repetitively, without applause, without shortcuts. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to get better. That means showing up even when you fail, even when you fall short, because failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it. Every setback is feedback. Every misstep is a message, not to stop, but to adapt, to grow, to keep pushing. The problem is, most people quit before the momentum kicks in. They give up when it's still hard, when it's still uncomfortable. They don't realize that the breakthrough is always hiding behind the boring. Behind the daily grind, behind the decision to keep going when no one's watching. So tonight, you build momentum, not by doing 10 things, not by making a long list, just by doing that one thing. And when you wake up tomorrow, you'll feel different. Not because the world changed, but because you did, because you kept your word, because you followed through. And that feeling, that's the beginning of power, self-generated, self-owned. It doesn't come from motivation videos or books or waiting for the right mindset. It comes from acting before you feel ready, from living like the person you're becoming, from stepping into the identity that's waiting for you to take responsibility. This is where the shift happens. The moment you stop needing more and start using what you have, because you already have everything, the tools, the time, the awareness, the hunger, all you need now is the decision, the one habit, the one act that says, I'm serious about this. Tonight isn't the end of your struggle. It's the start of your standard. You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need a perfect plan. You need to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm done negotiating with weakness. You don't rise because it's easy. You rise because staying the same hurts more than growth ever could. And if you can lock that in, if you can build that one habit and defend it with everything you've got, there will come a time when people look at you and wonder how you changed so fast. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't fast. It was daily, quiet, unshakable. The new you isn't waiting in the future. It's waiting in the next habit, the next rep, the next decision. And the only question left is, are you ready to become the person you were always meant to be? Because if the answer is yes, there's a certain power that comes alive the moment you stop overthinking and just begin. It's not dramatic, it's not loud, but it's real, and once it starts, it spreads into every part of your life. That one habit, that single shift in behavior, begins to shape how you walk, how you speak, how you see the world. You start carrying yourself differently, not because your circumstances have changed, but because you have. You no longer wait to feel confident. You create confidence through your actions. You no longer wait for motivation. You create momentum by honoring your commitment. And when your actions start to match your aspirations, something incredible happens. You begin to trust yourself again. That trust is everything. When you trust yourself, you don't need external validation. You don't chase applause. You don't rely on the approval of others to feel worthy. You become internally driven, self-led. And in a world full of noise and distraction, that's rare power. Most people stay stuck not because they lack talent or time, but because they've broken too many promises to themselves. They've said, this time I'll change, only to fall back into the same pattern. And with every broken promise, their belief shrinks, their inner voice gets quieter, their fire starts to fade. But belief can be rebuilt, and it doesn't take a lifetime. It takes a pattern of consistency, honesty, and follow through. The habit you build tonight may seem small, even insignificant, but if you protect it, nurture it, fight for it, it becomes a seed, and seeds don't grow into trees overnight. But give it time, and one day you'll look around and realize your whole life is rooted in that single decision to begin. Discipline doesn't limit your freedom, it creates it. The habit may cost you comfort in the short term, but it gives you power, peace, and pride in the long run. That's the trade most people never make. They choose ease over excellence, distraction over depth, pleasure over purpose, but not you, not anymore, because now you know what's at stake. Now you understand that one choice can echo into every corner of your life. You're not just changing your routine, you're redefining your future. Let others talk, let them doubt. You're done explaining your vision to people who can't see it. Your focus is action, quiet, consistent, powerful action. You don't need to announce your comeback. You just need to live it. And soon, the results will speak louder than words ever could. You're not just forming a habit. You're forming a foundation. One that won't shake when life gets hard. One that won't collapse under pressure, because it's been built through fire, through repetition, through nights like this. So take a deep breath, look at where you are, look at where you want to go, then close the gap with action. Not tomorrow, not next week now, because the version of you that keeps their word, that shows up regardless of mood, that rises without being asked, that version is waiting for you to decide. waiting for you to stop flirting with change and finally commit. This is your moment, this is your shift, not someday, not eventually, tonight. The clock won't wait, your dreams won't wait, and deep down, you know you're not here just to exist. You're here to evolve. There's a reason this message found you tonight. It's not random, it's a reminder, a wake-up call, a push from that quiet voice inside that's been whispering for too long. You're capable of more, and you are. You always have been, but life, noise, fear, and failure, they buried that truth, they made you forget, but not anymore, because something in you is rising now, something strong, something focused, something ready. No more waiting for a breakthrough. You become the breakthrough. You don't chase motivation. You create discipline. You don't fear the darkness. You build light inside it. This one habit, this single, focused action, is not small. It's symbolic. It tells the world, I'm not hiding anymore. I'm not playing small. I'm building something that matters, starting with me. Let the rest of the world hit snooze. Let them wait for signs. You don't need a sign. You are the sign. You're the evidence that a new chapter can begin any day, any hour, any second. Starting tonight, your life is no longer on pause. You're not going to keep living the same day, hoping one morning it magically changes. You are the change. Every step you take after this habit will feel different. Not because it's easy, but because it's earned. You'll feel a sense of alignment, a sense of control. You'll know that you're no longer hoping to be the person you admire. You're becoming them, one decision at a time. And don't be surprised if people don't understand at first. They weren't there when you stayed up late to face yourself. They didn't feel the weight of the nights you almost quit. They didn't see the silent war between who you were and who you're becoming, but you did. You felt it, and you chose to keep going. This isn't the kind of change that gets applause. This is the kind that builds legacy, quiet, relentless, unstoppable, because once you experience the power of self-respect, of self-discipline, of self-made progress, you'll never want to go back. You'll protect your habits like your life depends on them, because in truth, your future does. You may not see the full impact yet, but keep building, keep rising, keep choosing that one habit over and over. Because one day, it won't just change your life, it will change the lives around you. You'll become the proof, the example, the reminder to someone else that change is possible, and it can start in a single moment of decision. So when the world gets loud, stay locked in. When doubt creeps in, remember who you're building. When it feels slow, trust the process. Because while most people are waiting for the perfect time, you made this time perfect by deciding to start. You didn't come this far to stop now. This is your reset. This is your rise, and it starts with one habit, tonight. And when you wake up tomorrow, something will be different, not everything, but enough to feel the shift, enough to notice that you didn't quit on yourself. Enough to know that for once you didn't hit the snooze button on your potential. That one small act, done with intention, will echo louder than 1,000 empty promises you've made to yourself before. Because the real power of one habit isn't in how it looks from the outside. It's in how it feels inside, that sense of alignment, that deep internal knowing that you're finally doing what you said you would do, that your actions are now in sync with your ambition. No more pretending. No more halfway, no more maybe later. You are in motion now, and momentum, once created, can't be faked. It builds quietly, relentlessly, every day. You'll start to notice your thoughts changing. You'll question old excuses. You'll challenge your limitations. You'll look at the things that used to hold you back and realize they only had power because you gave it to them. Now you're reclaiming it, bit by bit, habit by habit, day by day. This is how empires are built, not in one move, not in one breakthrough moment, but through a pattern, through structure, through discipline, and it starts exactly the way you've started now, with a single habit repeated until it becomes unshakable. There will be temptations to stop. Life won't suddenly get easier. You'll still have off days, but here's the difference. You'll be equipped, not with perfection, but with identity. The identity of someone who keeps showing up. Someone who doesn't shrink when it gets tough. Someone who doesn't need everything to be right in order to move forward. And that kind of power, that kind of grounded, self-owned energy, It's rare. It's magnetic. People will begin to feel it before you even speak. You won't need to explain yourself anymore because your presence will carry the evidence of your work. Your consistency will be louder than your words. Your life will become your proof. So protect this momentum. Guard it like it matters, because it does. Don't let one tough day undo the pattern. Don't let a moment of weakness erase a week of strength. The real ones keep going. The real ones rise again. The real ones finish what they started. Every great change begins in silence, when no one's watching, when it's just you and the decision to keep becoming more. And now, you're in that place, right here. Right now, on the edge of everything you've ever wanted, not because you stumbled onto it, but because you chose to build it, habit by habit, moment by moment, against every excuse, despite every doubt. So when this video ends, let your action begin. Turn off the noise, close the tabs, shut the distractions, and take that first real step, because your future isn't waiting anymore, it's calling, and it's calling you by name. This is the beginning, one habit, one decision, one unstoppable life, and it starts with you tonight. And when you look back weeks from now, months from now, you won't even recognize the version of you who hesitated to start. You'll wonder why you ever doubted yourself, why you let fear take the wheel, why you thought the gap between where you are and where you want to be was too wide, because by then you'll have crossed it quietly, consistently, one habit at a time. And here's the truth no one talks about. Your transformation won't feel like fireworks. It will feel like peace, like finally breathing without the weight of regret, like walking through life without needing to explain or impress or prove, because you'll know, you'll feel it in your posture, in your energy, in the way you carry your goals without apology. You'll stop chasing motivation, because you'll understand that discipline is a deeper fuel. You'll stop waiting for life to change, because you'll realize life was never the problem. You just weren't showing up as the version of you who could handle it. But now, that version is here, being shaped in real time, being built through every small act that once felt insignificant. There are no small acts anymore. Every one of them is part of something greater. This is when you begin to lead yourself. You stop relying on outside noise to push you forward. You set the tone, you set the pace, you decide what matters, and you move accordingly. You wake up not needing permission. You go to bed with the pride of knowing you kept your promise, not to others, to yourself. That's the freedom most people never taste. And the best part, you're just getting started. The person you're becoming now, disciplined, focused, intentional, that version will open doors you can't yet see. Because when your internal standard rises, your external world follows. Opportunities respond to consistency. Success finds structure, and life bends in the direction of those who show up again and again and again. So if there's still doubt in your mind, that's okay. Courage was never about feeling ready. It was about acting anyway, and that's what you did. You made a choice that most people will never make, to stop waiting, to stop wishing, and to start owning your direction. This is your edge now. Your habit is your anchor. It keeps you grounded when the world shakes. It keeps you focused when the noise gets loud. It reminds you that you don't rise by luck. You rise by pattern, and your new pattern is in motion. So no matter what comes next, remember this: you are not behind. You are not broken. You are not late. You're right on time for the life you're building. You're right on time for your breakthrough, because it didn't happen to you. It's happening through you.